So in this video we're going to be making an 18th century pocket. Super easy, dead quick, and I will be wearing this at the shows that I'm going to. So enjoy the video.
So I've downloaded this pocket, 18th century pocket pattern from the Victoria and Albert Museum's website. This is a design for embroidery. I won't be doing that, but they do have, if you go, I'll pop the link in below, and they do have other little embroidery ideas on there as well. It's quite an interesting little read as well, that is. So it does give you instructions on how to make it bigger. I did try that, but me and technology were a no-go. So I ended up drawing out the pattern size I wanted. Let me just see if we can get it on there. So I've gone 6.5 inches, 5.5 at the top, 13 inches top to bottom, and a 9-inch width here, which is what I sort of measured it from that pattern enlarged, if that makes any sense to you. But yeah, do go and have a little look on there. So right, what else will we need? So I've got, this is an A3 piece of paper, by the way. I did try it on an A4 piece, and obviously not big enough. But I've, you know, you do the size you want. You might want a smaller one. So, but I want to be able to get my phone in there, my glasses, probably my little purse, that kind of thing. So what you'll need to do is you need to cut a piece for the front. I've got this beautiful Australian fabric that I bought at, I want to say, probably Knitting and Stitching or somewhere along those lines. I don't know, I can't remember. I bought a few of them. So I'm just going to place it on, and I feel like I want that. I'm not really going to worry too much about where I'm popping it. I'm going to go there on the end of that. But I've also got some of my French linen bit with the paint on, the horrible bit, and I'm going to just make a lining for this at the back. Oh gosh, what have I done there? Sorry. So I'll need 3 pieces. So let's find 3 nice bits. Let's just move that out of the way because we know that I want that bit. Might have to just kind of do a bit of a squiddle around. That'll do. I might keep that as the top as well. Yes, got some Gertrude hair. Piece that can be, you can't see it that side, so that can be the lining to the front. That can go this way up, if you know what I mean. Right, let's sorry, I'm just trying to do the minimum amount of cutting. Oh my gosh, I won't be able to. It'll be too thick to stitch through that one, because I'm going to hand stitch it. I don't want to make it. So I'm just trying to see where I am. Okay, that's fine. Get my, which way up was it? Oh gosh, which way? Oh, it's that way up, isn't it? Can you see what I'm doing? Try to get the camera further away, but I don't know whether I'm in or out. Zoomed in or zoomed out. Right, that'll do. To there. I'm not making a very good thing of this, am I? Don't want to go right up there. I'm just on with my linen this, so let's come across a little bit. Right. I'm going to go right up to the edge. Perfect. And then I'm going to pin it on. Pin on. Oh, stop this bit. Ooh. I'm working in the tiniest space because I need to try and get it on the camera. Right, let's get rid of that. Ouch. Just stuck myself with a pin. Just come up here. In. I don't need too many pins in this, just as long enough so it's not rumpling around. So Heather, I want to say accosted Marion from Marion's World when she came to visit us at Sewing for Pleasure. Well, not just us. When she came to Sewing for Pleasure, she did a little interview. I don't know whether or not you've seen that interview. But Heather, my daughter, accosted Marion because she was wearing one of these pockets and asked her about it, saying, you know, this is perfect because our clothes don't have pockets in, do they? You know, or they're little tiny tiddly pockets that you can't get anything in. By the way, I'm not making a seam allowance. You hadn't. So yeah, she said she'd done a video on it. Ouch. Which I have had a quick look at, but I haven't had time to properly watch it. To be honest, I've just sort of read the instructions to this pattern. It does give you full instructions on the website that you can download. Oh. And I'm winging it. Got a no plan as per usual. Right, that's me. I will save bits and bobs. That's me done with that and that. And I'm going to just. Do you know? Do I ever mention that I never get messages until I get on here? And now I've got a couple already, and I've only just got started. Right, there we are. So I'm going to go down. I just want to make a pencil mark halfway. I'm hoping you can see me. I'm going to just make a little hole in, and hopefully I'll be able to see that. Right. Hey. So I'm just measure up again. What did I say? It was 6.5 inches down from there, which is absolutely brilliant, to there. And we want to do a straight line of a cut, but make sure I don't do, just going to do a faint line. You probably can't see that. So right, I've got my backing, which I don't want to cut. Okay, I'm going to put that to one side. These, can you see my paint mark is very faint there. This sheeting, this piece of sheeting that I've had, somebody's used it to drop as a drop cloth for when they've been painting. You can't believe it, can you? Like a 120-year-old sheet. I'm just going to pin this together so when I stitch it, I might have to get some smaller pins actually, because I will be sticking myself with them. I know I will. Let's get these applique pins. That's better. Okie doke. Right, lovely. Do you know what I've not got? Bias tape. So I'm going to have to go and find some. Let me just pin this together and we'll talk about what we're going to do. I am a twit. I'm either going to have to find some or make some. Pin those up. Right. Okay. So I've pinned it together because I don't want it to rumple up at the back. And I'm going to cut down this line to that centre piece. There. Okay. So that's the opening of my pocket. Oh gosh. And I'm just going to make sure that's sitting on there. Should do because I've cut them all three together. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to go and find some bias tape, because first of all I want to come down here with the bias tape. I just want to say that you can do this on the sewing machine. I'm going to hand sew it simply because that's me. I can't. I'm not very good at getting the sewing machine out. I was thinking by the time I've got the sewing machine out, I could have sewn it. So I'm going to go and get some bias tape. And then I'll be back. Right, I'm back. I had to go on a bit of a hunt for this. And even then, I don't think it's quite what I want. But, you know, it's what we've got. So, bias tape. This is a bit wide, but it'll be fine. I'm going to pop, let's just take the backing off this and pop that to one side. Okay. Now, I didn't say, but at this stage you could do some tailor's tack, some tacking all around the edges if you wish. I'm not going to do that, and the reason being is, why make more effort? Why make more? It just seems silly. Right, this is a little bit wide, as I said, but how I'm going to get around it is I'm going to meet the edge of my tape, my bias tape. I'm just going to put it up there a little bit to the edge of you out the way, to the edge of my cloth. Just come in there a little bit. Oops. Pin it down. Pin it all the way to the bottom, and then when we get there, I'll show you how to deal with that going round the corner. Oh, it's making a clanking noise. It's really autumnal this morning. Very misty and dewy out my front. I live opposite some fields and some little tiny patch of woodland. which is sweet. Right. And I take the dog for a walk across there sometimes. It's not very big, so I don't very often go. And it's quite one reason being it's quite populated, shall we say, people. And I'm not. When I go for a walk, I want to be in nature, not chatting. Okay, so I'm going to come along this. I hope you can see this crease in the fabric. Do you see the fold? And I'm going to use that as my guideline. You probably can't see. And also I'm going to use this Dove Grey. I love this colour because it just sinks in. You can use this colour in any colour fabric and it just sinks in and you don't see it. And that's an Aurifil. Aurifil 2600. 2600. I got that tip from Kate over at the last Homely House. Right, okay. I'm waffling on about nothing. Just for some reason I can't get my needle to work. My hands aren't warmed up. Early morning. I'm going to just put a couple of locking stitches in, so a little bit of a back stitch to go on here. That's a blooming huge knot. Let's move you up a bit. And then we'll work around. As I said, you can use your sewing machine for this. I just don't. Let me come up again. Up again. Okay, so we're going to do a running back stitch. So what I'll do is I take a couple or 3 running stitches. 1, 2. Just take your pin out. My stitches are quite small. And then a back stitch. And that locks it so it's not going to gather up. 1, 2, stitch. Right. Okay. So we've got to this little V snip there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go around this. So just hold your thread down, your bias tape down. And I'm still doing the running back stitch. Try and get my stitches quite tiny around this bend. And then you're going to open up your gap, come round, let's just grab that, bring that round, tiny bit at a time. You just have to kind of go with it, manipulate it. Do the back stitch. You see, I'm opening it right up and I'm just moving my opening it up, moving my tape into position. You do need to just give it a little wiggle. It's okay. Oh, I'm up the back. I am silly. There we go. Come back. And you kind of just want to just pull it round again. Because this is on the bias, it's got to stretch. Because it's cut, how can I say it, along the diagonal, so it'll stretch. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If it was on folded on that, it's not got any stretch. So that is why it's okay. Going round the corner and back up the other side in a moat. Just going to put a little lock stitch in there and come up. Keep coming. Just getting it in position. And you should come back on. I've not pinned this, but you get the idea. You want to meet your edges again. Just pop you back over. And I'm just going to stitch all the way to the end. I'm going to just snip this off here, just to give myself. Then I'll come back when I've got to the end of here. We're just going to carry on, and I'll show you that later. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off here with a couple of back stitches, just to lock it down. There we go. That's it. Snip that off. So let's just show you. We've gone round the corner, look, and it's nice and neat. I'm going to tuck that under. So because this was too wide, I'm going to come back and fold it that way, quite a long way down. If you've got, you know, smaller width bias, you won't have to do this, but I'm pulling it not taut, I'm just wrapping it over so it comes up, and I'm kind of rolling it. So I'm with my finger, I'm just going up, rolling it over the top and getting it flat on there. You can pin this, but I'm not going to, because it might be thicker, you know, wider where I've stitched it, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Okay, so I want to do a slip stitch all the way around, and I'm just going to try and come in to this linen backing and not the front of my work. So a little slip stitch, and I want to do this all the way around, and basically you want to get let's get a bit closer in, a couple of little tiny stitches, bits of the stitch cloth, the tiniest amount, just a couple of threads along, and then under. Do you see? And that on under. You won't see this, but you want to make sure it's quite. Don't put your stitches too far apart, otherwise you won't have any. It won't be secure. You'll have too many holes and gaps where your fingers will go through. I'm going to go all the way around. Let's go down to the bottom and then I'll show you going around that edge again. Oh. I'm doing my best to try not to go through my fabric at the front. You can feel, generally. But obviously if you're machining, you might not. You might do it a different way. And just put your, go round and top stitch. But hey. Alright, so we're coming to the point, the gap where it meets. Keep going. Oh. That's Gertrude and Reggie having a little bit of a chase, if you can hear. Going to come back up. So you will have a little bit of a gather there, and you'll have to just stretch it out. Oh God, that's where my paint is. And just pull it, stretch it. Don't stretch it too much because you don't want it to pucker up. You won't see this. Just gonna have a little. It doesn't want to do it. I think it's because it's a bit too long. Right. Let's just go back on it. Can you see? Because this is too long, it's puckering up. Let me look at the front of it and have a little look. Yeah, you don't like it. Right. What I'm going to do is just going to do a little snip there and pull it so it's not puckering up. As I say, you won't see this, and I will make that nice and neat. That's it. And I'll tuck that under. Just get rid of, just move my stitch. There we are. If my bias was smaller, it'd go around a lot neater. So that's what I'm just going to come and do. Don't want it to be just tucking it in. I didn't think of that when I was doing just using this up. Not to worry, you will not see it, and I like to show you how I kind of get round things. And you see it's gone a bit, and if I got thinner tape, I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have to do that. I know there'll be some people shouting at the screen going, oh, should have done it, tucked it under. I should have tucked it under like that, done a double. Maybe I will carry on like that. Keep going. I like to show warts and all. Just tucked it under. I'll have a little look at that in a second. It should look okay from the front. And you know what? It's handmade and no one is going to be judging me. Well, yeah, I say that. There's always yeah, that element, isn't there? But hopefully not on here. Keep going. I'm going to go to the end. Just untwist my thread a bit. When you have too long a length of thread, which I did, lazy tailor thread, as my granny would call it, because of the twist in the thread, it starts to knot, because it starts to twist again. And that is why using a shorter length is far better, because you start to get it knotted and then it becomes a bit more difficult to stitch with. Oh, have I gone off? Oh, that was better. Right. Oh, some more paint there. Dot of paint. Right, I'm just going to finish this off with a couple of stitches there. Just secure it. Fab. Let's have a little look at the front. Oh, that's not too bad. It's got a little bit of a, but you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my needle. I'm just going to tuck it in like that. There we are. I'm happy with that. I know I'm not a perfectionist. It's not perfect, should I say. Right. Okay. So next bit. Let's just make sure if we've not got any paint splodges on this. I haven't. Oops. And because I did like a mirror image of this, it should match exact. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pin it together, pin it all together. And we're sort of going to do the same principle. I'm pinning it because I don't want it all to distort and I end up with a bit up here extra. Ooch. This fabric's so pretty. In the corner. So you're going to do the same, we're going to do the similar sort of thing. And I promise you I won't make you sit and watch me. If you were doing this on a machine, you can do exactly the same as I do, but you may want to do like a top stitch. I'll show you in a second. I'm running ahead of myself. Right, so that's fixed along to that. Where's my end of this? Is that it or is that it? Where are we? Here. Okay. Which way am I stitching? I'm stitching this way. So if you were machine stitching, you might do it this way. You might fold it in half, pop it on, and run your machine stitch all the way along. So you've got a top stitch. How I'm going to do it, because I'm not machine stitching, just going to come to the edge. Just going to pop a pin in there, just to. Where's my? What did I do with my needle? That's interesting. That it? That's not you. Oh. 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 You're probably all shouting and saying, it's there, it's there. Oh. Don't know. We're going to have to get another one. Oh, it's here, look. Honestly. Right, let's have a bit longer thread. Oh, can't get the blooming thing off. I sometimes despair of my own self. I do a double thread, and the reason I do a double thread is just for extra strength. No other reason. Oh, no, that's what I was taught. As ever, you do what you're used to doing. So I'm just gonna. This will be quite thick because it's linen. I'm going through 2 lots of linen, and I'm just putting a couple of back stitches in. Already got a knot. Come on. And this cotton is quite heavyweight cotton. And when you have it, when it's like screen printed, which it is, I can't show you now, can I? It's always a little bit thicker. Right, I'm going to come along and do my running back stitch, and I will not make you watch me do that. I'm just going to put another back stitch here because that stitch was very big. And I'm going to do that all the way around. And when you get to the curves, because this has got the stretching, it will be so easy to get around there. Can you see? So I'm going to go all the way around with this, and then I'll be back. So running back stitch, just to remind you, is a couple of running stitches. And 2. And then back. And another 2 running stitches. And I'm going through all 3, top one and the back in, and then the back piece, and securing all at once. As I said before, you could do a tacking stitch and tack them together, but that seems like an extra step that you don't need to do. So let's go and do this, and I will be back in 2 sheets of a lamb's tail. Thought I'd just come and show you going round this corner, because it is so simple. The only thing I would say is, because it's putting a bit, because I'm down the bottom, and it'll take a bit of weight from my phone and my purse and other bits and bobs, lip balm. I'm doing a little bit tinier stitches and doing a few back stitches more, just to give it a little bit more strength. So you can see I'm just utching it round the corner. Oh, little bit of a stitching, and it's because it's on the bias, and hence the name. It is just pulling. Well, it's not even pulling, it's just neatly going around. I'll just put another back stitch in there, and just I'm round the bend. Literally. I'm holding my breath again. Right, I'm just going to finish that bit of thread off, just and put some more on, and carry on up that up the last stretch. Alrighty, so I've gone all the way around, and now I'm going to go and do the I can't think what I was going to say, slip stitching. So again, I'm just going to pull it over the top, and this should make it, this will be easier this way round. You're not going in a really tight corner. But I think what I will do from the off is have a little look, see if I can do it. Might have to have a little tuck there. Yeah, that'll be fine. Needle. Again, I've got two thicknesses. I'm just coming in there, and I'm just going to do the little slip stitch all the way. Oh, let me just do a bit of a locking stitch there, just so it doesn't pull tight. There we go. And I'm going to go all the way around. Oh, right round to the, oh, my stomach is rumbling. Not had any breakfast yet. Try not to go through, you only want to go through this backing and not through both the other side. Do you see? I just suddenly thought, oh, but if you're only taking little tiny bites of this stitch, you shouldn't go through. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Oh, I'm just doing a little tiny stitch, she says. Couple of, oh my gosh, come on. Couple of, can you see that? Couple of little strands of the cloth going through, and I'm going up there. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. This cloth, this linen's covered in Gertrude's hair. She very rarely comes down and gets on anything these days. But if you put something down in and it's hers. It's not, it's fair game. It makes me laugh that she has Reggie's beds. He has to. I think I've got a bit of paint behind this one. Let me try and go through. Yeah, she'll come and she'll lie on his little beds, and but if I bought her own, oh no, that wouldn't be used, as I have done in the past. She'd not used them. She just finds a little spot, and she's got two favourite spots upstairs. Well, she's got 3 or 4, but 2 favourite spots upstairs where her beds, where she lies, are Reggie's little beds from when he was a puppy. And they're just those lovely plush sinky in ones, and she loves them. But they're up high, out of the way of Reg. Because he just wants to be a friend, and she does not want to be his friend at all. She barely tolerates him. Oh dear. She got him cornered the other day at the top of the stairs. My stairs go round in a corner. And she got him cornered in the corner of the stairs the other day. And his little eyes were terrified. He was pressed up against the wall. I had to go and rescue him. She's so mean to him. Oh, and I wish she would be his friend. I think she is his friend in her own little way. In the fact that she allows him in the house with her. But he doesn't chase her. She chases him, if anything. She will proper give him what for if he gets a bit too close. But yeah, it doesn't, it's not the chasing cat thing. It's not like Tom and Jerry. Rhubarb and custard. Does anybody remember that one? Reggie looks a little bit like the dog Rhubarb from the cartoon Rhubarb and Custard. Custard was the cat and Rhubarb was the dog. And I want to say it's from the 1980s. I loved it. And the theme tune was great as well. I have to look it up. Just making sure I'm not going. Just put my hand in. Yeah. I'm fine. Can you see I'm going round the bend now? Going round the corner, the bend. And I'm literally just going to tuck it. I'm just going to go over again. Because no one's going to see it. Really. And if they do, well, whatever. So yeah, rhubarb and custard. look it up, see if they've got some. They're bound to have some, aren't they, on YouTube? And Custard the cat was so sort of dismissive of Rhubarb. And basically thought it was an idiot. And that's exactly how Gertrude is with Reggie. If you're new here, by the way, if you've just happened upon me, Reggie is a scruffy looking border terrier crossed with a toy poodle. He does make some cameos in earlier videos, but as he's got older, he tends ow. Oh, did you see that? Oh, just stabbed myself. Tends not to bother so much now. I used to want to get on my knee while I was stitching and be proper spoiled. But now he's still got in his little window seat bed. I'm just going to come around this one. But he's there now, he's asleep. He's my son's assistant's dog. If you might have met him on one of my workshops, since sometimes he comes to a workshop, very rare. Or when we do the setups for the shows, he'll come along. I'm just going to put a little tuck in that, look. Come around that corner. If I did it, right, I'm just going to say, if I did this double again, I wouldn't have that tuck. But I'm not. I'm just doing it this way. I know. Oh dear. But I'm just using what I've got. Okay. I'm telling you off now, aren't I? Because I feel like I can hear people judging me. Anyway, back to Reggie and Gertie. So yeah, Reggie will come to the shows and does the setup. He personally doesn't do the setup. He might as well though. My son does, and he comes and protects him. Protects him. No, his job. Reggie's job is to be a conduit, if you like, for attention, so that my son doesn't have to have that kind of interaction if he doesn't want to. As that is one of his kind of the downsides of his autism. But Reggie helps a lot, an awful lot, and I'm sure everybody out there who has dogs or pets of any kind knows and can relate to how supportive they can be. I mean, I'm going to say Gertrude, is she supportive? I can't thread the needle. Come on, Rach. Is she supportive? I think so, in her own little way, but she's so bossy. I can't thread my needle. Hang on. Come on. I'm not used to using these tiny... No, it don't want to go through there. Let's do another snip. Another snip. Oh my goodness me, I can't see. Ah. Oh, I don't know. Just bear with me a second. Let me see if I can. There we go. I think it's at the angle I was looking. Oh, I'm going to make myself excuses now. Yeah. Anyway, needle threaded. Ah dear. Yeah, Gertrude, she's just bossy. She likes to that's got super massive knot in it. Let's get rid. And I'll just do a couple of locking stitches in. Yeah, she's super bossy. If you walk past her and don't give her a dreamies, or what are they called in French? Catisfactions. I've only got one thread going. Catisfactions in France, they're called. You have to let me know what they're called. Little cat treats, anyway. She grabs you with both paws and pulls you towards where she wants you to be and demands that you get her some. She's very funny. But that said, whenever I come home, she's waiting on the stairs for me. Obviously, she wants a treat, but she's always waiting halfway up the stairs. And she'll come and say hello, bring you little gifts. She still brings little gifts, even though I think she's 14 now. But she's still sprightly. She's still very cat-like. Right, we're going along there, bombing along. Just fall across my legs. I've got a box underneath the desk and I keep kicking it. It needs moving, but where I'm going to move it to, I've got no idea. So I've got a workshop tomorrow, an in-person workshop to do the moonlight hair. And that's the last one for this year. We have got a PhD day coming up on the 15th of November. If you live in our area or if you just fancy a day out, have a look on the website for the details of that. If you're not familiar with what a PhD day is, it's a projects half done day. And you bring your projects along and you try and get them finished, basically. Yeah. And you spend time with others, other like-minded people, doing your thing, whatever it might be, as long as it's portable and doesn't make too, we're not going to make a mess of the church hall. Or we will make a mess, but you know what I mean. Not too much of a mess. Not one that I can't clear up, let's put it that way. But I know people bring the diamond paintings, which I've never had a go at. Crochet, knitting, lace making. One lady was making journals one time. But embroidery, cross stitch, you name it. You could even bring your sewing machine, I suppose. I'm just making sure I'm not going up there. Yeah, as long as you've got a long enough extension. yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's our first one we've done as Moonlight Stitchers. When I first started out, I used to do little craft days every couple of weeks, but one thing and another, they sort of dwindled out because I couldn't because of the venue. Anyway, yes, if you're in the area and you want to come along, please do. But as I say, all details are on the website. Right, we've got to the end and I'm going to do some locking the stitches. There. Oops. Put that in there. And that's it. It's not it. Obviously, I've got to do the top, but that's me done. I know there's those two little things, but as I said, if you'd got the right thickness of bias, you won't get that. But I'm not worried because, as I say, I'm using up what I've got to hand. I'm loving that. I'm going to give it a bit of a press. No. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can get my phone in it. Phone in it. Yeah. Love it. I think at the shows, when I'm doing the shows, I'll be able to use that. Have my phone, the little card machine that I'm always putting down and can't find. Bit of pocket money. Pocket money. I was reading a little bit of history about the pockets, and now when we I'm going to put some ties on it along the top. And right, I'm just going to talk about these ties. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh my gosh, my brain. Oh yeah, I was reading about some history of pockets for ladies' garments, and now when I'm stitching, I'll show you. I'll explain. I'll have a chat about it. Let's just talk about the ties. So, with the tie, you can do them equal distances, but because you're going to have it to one side of your body, you want to make the one tie longer than the other. Now, whether you want your bow at the front or at the back. So if you were coming all around the front of your body, I ought to get up and show you really, didn't I? We're going to go and have a long tie at the front. So it goes all the way around your waist, the front of your waist, and to the middle of your back. Is that making sense? I hope so. So then the other side, you're only going around halfway round your back. So let's do a little hit. So there's me with my pocket, and I'm right-handed, so I want my pocket on my right-hand side. Oops, that is not a great picture. So there's my pocket. So the tie, I want to come, if I want my bow at the back, I want to go all the way and around the back. Yeah. And then same again, this side, I'm only going around halfway. So I'll do a little tie there. Yeah. If you wanted it at the front, you'd do this one longer and come all the way to the front and have your tie there. My gosh, that's a terrible picture. So when I've finished it, I'll do a demo. So I'm going to pin on, and I want to be want to use this, but I want to be about 1/4 of an inch from the edge, because what I don't want is to be too close and then the stitch come through where it it kind of frees. So just open up and I want to be about there. I'm just going to pin on there. Let's have a little look. Try and get it in a straight line. A full disclosure, I've done this once and got it wrong. And I'll explain why in a second. Pop your pin in there. So you want to make sure that when you stitch, this is going to go all the way over this, because it's quite thick. And what I did before is I stitched it down here and then it only came to the top. I don't know what I was thinking. So anyway, let's get a needle and thread. And I'm not going to use that one. Let's use a bit bigger. Where are we? That'll do. Try and get a bigger eyed needle. My go-to usually is a chenille needle, but because the eyes are larger and the points are very, very, very sharp. But when I'm doing the running stitch, they're not long enough. They're quite stubby, like with this one against. Oh, just throwing that across there against the chenille needle. It's a good centimetre shorter. And when you're doing a running stitch, it's a bit more. It's more difficult to kind of grab, if you know, especially when you've got achy fingers like me. Arthritis is setting in. So I'm opening up the bias. I'm just going to put a couple of locking stitches in here. Just hide my knots. When I say locking stitch, I mean like a couple of back stitches, because it just locks it in and it doesn't then start ruching up, gathering up. Right, let me just get past this thick bit here. Sometimes you have to do in and out stabby stitches, and I'm going to have to do there just because my thickness of my cloth. There, look, I don't want to go. That's it. Lovely. Get rid of your pin. So, pockets in ladies' garments. And still today, I don't know about you, but I struggle to get a decent sized pocket in a garment where I can get things in and they not fall out. So historically, this is what I was reading on the Victoria and Albert website. Women didn't need pockets as they didn't have any need for anything practical, as they were considered basically an adornment to a male. So they wouldn't need anything. They wouldn't need a pocket because they wouldn't need anything practical to keep them in there. If that, do we understand that? I couldn't get my head around that. Yeah. So then, you know, they wanted the garment to lay flat and not obscure the female form. So a pocket wasn't deemed necessary because that would make lumps and bumps, basically. So then women started making them and putting them underneath their underskirts, their petticoats, so they wouldn't be seen. Then in later times, when suffragettes, pockets were basically not illegal, but if you had a pocket in a garment, it was seen that you could be concealing a piece of information that, especially in the suffrage kind of era, that you might be concealing information that could be passed on. So therefore, pockets became illegal. So hence, these kind of things would be used again, hidden under petticoats, things to put little notes in and that kind of thing. And as I went sort of going more and more, it was like a little rabbit hole going down. Yeah, women's basically weren't allowed a pocket because it was deemed that we had no need and what we would keep in them would be secretive. It's a bit more in depth than that, but we're not here for a history lesson, are we? We might be. Yeah. So fascinating, really. Oh, don't want to go through there. Who knew that a pocket it could be so interesting? Oh, nearly stuck myself with the end of the needle. Going through quite a lot of thick fabric here. It is quite. If you are struggling with your hands, just be wary. Just do it as a stabbing stitch. That's always easier, isn't it? It's a lot easier that way. And then come back. My thumb here takes the brunt, and I will have achy hands and fingers for a couple of days after I've done something like this. When I do embroidery, I don't really have that because you're just going through a nice layer of fabric. But when I'm hand stitching something like this, it always takes its toll on me. And I do think, Rachel, you should get the sewing machine out, but there's no fun in that, is there? I have 2 or 3 little hand cranked sewing machines actually that I could use. And I was thinking about making space in my van conversion that we're doing for said sewing machine. We will see. But again, as I always say, by the time I've got the machine out, I could have stitched it. Okay, I'm just going to put a locking stitch in. Back on myself. There we go. In there. Talking of fashion, or not talking of fashion, I saw a picture of a student, and it is a few years ago, but it's only just come up it's only come onto my radar. And this part of the skirt, it was about textiles, and the skirt was made and it to look like one of these, and the waist was here, and she came out it was absolutely brilliant. I don't know who it was. It was just a fleeting little. So back to this. So I'm going to come up, tuck it over. I'll do it that way. And then I'm going to do my little slip stitches there. Okay. So I'll probably need some longer thread length. Yes, I do. I feel like I have rambled today. Waffled, rambled. Same. But we do like a chit chat, don't we? It's one of my. I get on and I think, oh, let's have a little chat to my friends. Right. So I'm just going to come up, hide my knot, and do the slip stitch. Again, you only want to take a little tiny bite of your fabric cloth. There we go. Oh, I'm all twisted up. Okay, come on. Oh, I'm just wondering what I should have for my lunch. And I went to the bakery this morning early and got some nice fresh rolls. Cobs in this part of the country, they're called. Yeah, so I'm going to have one of those. And I treated us all, me and my two kids, because Heather's coming today, to a cream cake. Fresh cream cake. I got a selection so they can choose what they want. A fresh cream donut with jam. What we call an elephant's foot. But I got a mini one. So basically an elephant's foot is a big shoe bun filled with fresh cream, whipped cream. Gorgeous. And then topped with a layer of chocolate. Oh my gosh, that sounds so nice. What else did I get? A fresh cream slice, which is like a layered puff pastry, cream puff pastry, icing, meal for, so a million sheets. That translates to mean for, I think it is. Oh my gosh, excuse my French. Or is it Italian? Oh my. I'm actually a pastry chef, a patissier. I ought to know. Yeah, in a former life. Yeah, so one of those. Did I get anything else? Don't think I did. She tried to sell me some mince pies. I was like, no. A, I don't like mince meat. And B, it's too early for mince pies. They're Christmas related, aren't they? And we're only in September. Right. that. Done. Now, here's the thing. You could go along and sew that up if you wanted. I'm not going to. No need to. Why is one end wonkier? Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's just move those out of the way. Check that over there. Oh, I'm so pleased with that. Oh, look at that. That's so good. Yeah, be able to get my phone in, my little purse. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I will do a little demo. Well, actually, what I'll do is Heather's coming. I'll get Heather to demonstrate it, to model it, and I'll be back with that. Okay, so Heather is modelling said little thing. Just do a spin round so we can see the back. This has gone round Heather twice because she's a skinny mini, but we've got it there. But if you were, just turn around again please. You might want it tied at the back, so this side would want to be longer than that tie, but I've done mine both same size and they're fine. So put your hand in, Heath.
Got my phone in it ready. Look.
Phone in, ready.
I wish I bought some more things. I could have filled it up with treasure.
Yeah, it could go right round the side as well, so you've got more access.
You can,
like that. Yeah, couldn't you, if you wanted? So yeah,
it's brilliant.
it's good. Let me just yeah, that's great.